Hey, what's up, Internet? This is Will. I am your Thursday. And unfortunately, this video is not going to have any editing because I want it to be as raw as possible, and I want it to be the real effect. I don't want no editing or anything like that out of there. So, this week is coming out stories, and I'm going to say my coming out story. On my channel, I do have my coming out story. And now that, it's gonna be almost a year that I've been out, so it's kind of difficult. See, first off, if you are watching this video, chances are you already came out to yourself, or you're not so sure about what you are. You're just confused, and you're terrified. You're scared. I know exactly how that feels. I remember I was always scouring YouTube every now and then. Whenever I was alone, I would always look at YouTube and would always watch people's coming out stories. And then It Gets Better came out, and then I just kept watching those stories, and it made me a lot better. Than I was watching Glee at the time, so that was really helping. So I had a lot of positive experiences. But what if you're not into Glee? What if you're not into, the whole It Gets Better? What if you needed to get better right away? Things like that. See, the only thing that I regret in life is that I never tried hard enough, because I was afraid. I was afraid of who I was. I was afraid of what it is. I was afraid of what people think. But then again, I realized I didn't have friends to begin with. I mean, I did have friends, but I just realized that that these people that I'm trying to impress really mean absolutely nothing to me. Now, my family is a different story, things like that. People always tell you, you should wait, you should wait, you should wait. Just come out when you're ready. And in some cases, that's the best way. That is the best way. But sometimes don't judge people right off the bat. We don't know what they think. We don't know if a person can be extremely religious towards God and all this stuff, read the Bible verbatim, doesn't necessarily mean that they hate homosexuals. Our perception is that that's now a stereotype for people who do church. For Christians, is that anybody who reads the Bible and goes to church every Sunday automatically hates gays, and that's not the case. That's not the case here. But anyways, I'm going to talk about my coming out story. My coming out story was, first I had to come out to myself. It was the first thing, and that's what you should do. Now, if you're so unsure about what you are, you have no idea what you are. I mean, seriously, my personal advice is look at porn. I know that I shouldn't condone that. I mean, if you're of age or you're wondering what it is, I mean, unfortunately, I'm sorry. That's how I found out. That's how I found out for sure. I mean, I'm not going to be around the bush about it. I mean, I mean, as long as it's not a chronic disease, it's not bad to watch porn. It's not. But I'm just saying that if you see, if two guys turns you on, and, a woman and a guy and a woman turn you all on at the same time, you might be bisexual. If you're into the whole, guy, you're gay. If you're into the man-woman, you're straight. If you're into the woman-woman and you're a guy, you're straight, I guess. I don't know. But I'm just saying that when I came out, it was very difficult. So I found out for myself that I always attracted to the man in man. So, of course, since I was so into this, I knew that I was. I just knew that I was. So, and I always kept avoiding the fact, and eventually I had to grow comfortable with it. It takes you a while. It does. It takes you a while for you to come out to yourself. It takes you years sometimes. Some people, it's easy as that. Some people are gay from the day that they're born. So it's different for everybody. You got to understand that you are not a stereotype. You got to understand that you're not feminine, flamboyant, unless that's who you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're a gamer, there's more to you than your sexuality. And your sexuality shouldn't be the main primary focus. It's who you are as a person, not who you choose to sleep with. I shouldn't even say choose. Who you want to sleep with, like who you sleep with, you know? So it doesn't matter whether it's a guy, whether it's a girl, you know, it doesn't matter. Now, we live in 2012, and unfortunately we still do have those ignorant people who just refuse to listen to anything, and they just don't see logic in anything, and they don't see how much that they could be hurting people. And unfortunately that's how it is. When I came out, I keep sidetracking, I'm sorry. When I came out, I had to come out, I had to plan my coming out. First I had to come out to myself. Then I decided to tell, because I have a brother and he's gay. And that's a whole long story in itself. But he's gay. And we never really knew each other. We only spoke to each other on the phone. We just got reunited. So that's a quick story. So I was talking to him a lot at this point, and since he was openly gay and he's cool with it, eventually I told him. I told him and I told his boyfriend, and they gave me a lot of help and support. And they told me, well, now you have to they told me that you should tell somebody that you really trust. So at work I had a manager, and she was a lesbian, or she is a lesbian. Why do I keep saying was? She's a lesbian. So I told her, and that was scary, because you're telling somebody in person. Now you said it to yourself, now you said it to somebody over the phone, and you said it to somebody in the car. And the difference is that these people were gay to begin with, so they don't judge you. They're there to support you, because they're obviously, they know what it's like. You know, they know what it's like. So it's more trustworthy in that, because you're keeping it in perspective. Then I told my friend, who's a really close friend of mine, because he has a gay uncle who he loves very much. So I knew that he wouldn't take it bad. So I started talking to people who were friends with gay people or whatever. I just kind of worked my way up. I saved my sister and my mother for last. I didn't really care about my father, because he's not in my life. I didn't really care about whoever found out. Just as long as my mom and my sister found out, for me, this was good. So I remember one time I told my sister, I decided to tell my sister, and honestly, I don't know why I was so afraid to tell her. It was just because I was living in her house, and I just was so scared to be taken away, you know, kicked out. So I told her. And it's scary, especially when you're telling kids, because, you know, they go to school and all this stuff. And it's scary, but the kids, they love it. They say that they still love me the same. Doesn't matter. They see kids in their school that are gay. And seeing that is amazing. You know, you are going to be the talk of the family because of the fact that you're gay. And that could be a good thing, and that can be a bad thing. But you got to understand that everything is going to be okay, you know. And there's going to be people that are not going to take it. You don't have to come out to everybody. I mean, it's hard because you're always constantly coming out. But then I went to go tell my mom, and it was the day after Mother's Day that I told her. I was going to tell her on Mother's Day because she wasn't busy that day. She was at home. And I just thought that the time would have been right. But then I looked at it and I saw how happy she was, and I didn't want to turn that frown upside down. I mean, I didn't want to turn that smile upside down. So I said, okay, Mom, all right. So I told her, Mom, I want to talk to you tomorrow, meaning the following day, the day after Mother's Day. So I wanted to tell her. And then so she said, I'll just talk to you. I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay? She said, okay, well then. So she calls me, obviously, because she was worried. So she goes and I said, Mom, can you get on Skype? because I don't live in the same state. So we both get on Skype, and I'm talking to her, and she's just laying down in her bed like this, looking at the camera. And she says, "What is it that you want to say to me?" And she was terrified. I can tell by the look of her eyes that she was scared. She was so scared. And it's hard, because every time when you're saying the word, it's like this boulder or something from the pit of your stomach is like coming up, and then your heart starts to beat so fast, and then it comes to the end, and then you feel so weak, but when you let it out, it's out. Now there's no way to take it back in. You just can't. So you go, and I said, "Mom, I'm gay." And I was ready to cry and everything, because she meant everything to me. I didn't want her to hate me. So I went and I told her, and there was that long, awkward silence, that long, awkward pause. Terrified the hell out of me. I didn't know what to think. I was just terrified. I'm like, I'm ready to cry just thinking about it. So I go and I tell her, and she's sitting there in that pause. And then she says, "Okay." That's it, just okay. And then when I heard that, I was so happy. She says, "You are who you are. You're still my son, and I love you." And then after that, I hear all that, and that follows. And I felt so relieved that the following day I posted up a Facebook message, and I said, "Guys, I'm gay. And if you guys don't like it, delete me. It's fine." Nobody deleted me. People were being very supportive to me, and then I realized that, like, the worst part is that when you look back at it and you see that people didn't care, or people said that they already knew or something, and it hurts, because you feel like, so you're telling me I could have been myself all this time? But then you can't think that way, because you got to say that, from point A to point B, you grew. It's the happiest day. That was one of the happiest days of my life, was the day that I could actually have been the day that I've been myself, where I could be what I want to be. I could sing songs, I can listen to whatever music, and not have to be terrified of what people walking into the room while I'm listening to Britney Spears or something. Not that I really listen to Britney Spears, but I'm just saying, there was music that I had to avoid. I didn't have to worry about it anymore. It didn't feel like a heart attack every time when somebody brought up the word gay. It took some while to getting used to. It took about like 2 months to get used to the fact that I was openly gay, and that it wasn't no big deal. And to hear that instead of somebody saying, "You got a girlfriend yet?" I'm hearing, "You got a boyfriend yet?" And it scares me, because I was so against myself. And it's hard. It's really hard. But anyways, guys, I'm going to have to keep this going short, unfortunately. I don't really get too into the topic, but I really apologize. I just have to keep this video under 15 minutes. So I hope I helped you in some way. If you guys are interested in me in any way, like you guys want to know more about my videos, I do videos every day on YouTube, on my channel, Dark Ruler 1030, all lowercase, and just go ahead and just and talk to me. I mean, I'm always available there. I make videos every day, and I'll be sure to try to respond to you as soon as possible. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace out, and be safe, and know that I swear it gets better. It does.